Good morning everybody and welcome back to another video where today we are doing our wonderful biannual tradition of taking a look through all the new LEGO releases for summer of 2025 and telling you guys which ones I'm interested in and which ones I think are a little bit underrated. I try to give a nice balanced opinion across as many themes as possible, and this is a more relaxed video. We don't like to do this at any rushed speed or high energy, although I'm hoping that this will be shorter than the usual length, as these guys have stretched up to hour-long videos in the past, and while some of you may appreciate that, I don't really have the voice to be talking for that long today. So I'm gonna keep this one briefer, just go through the sets I'm most interested in, and tell you why, and gush about them, and we'll see how this goes. We'll try this a bit differently today. Future Octanders, just jumping in here as we found out one more piece of information. I'm going to talk about this friend set here, not because of the friend set, although it is a very beautiful set. I'm here to talk about Shetland Pony because it's been brought to my attention that this hair piece here for the Shetland Pony is a brand new colour that's being introduced and recognised by New Elementary. It is perfect for Link's hair. Currently, this piece is not going to be used in regular bricks. This is going to be like a skin tone piece that's used for hair colours. I find it very hard to believe that this piece wasn't at least partially developed with future Links in mind. I expect this piece to be used for Link's hair going forward into the future, as it is the perfect shade for a huge variety of them, sitting right in between that medium nougat and dark tan like we always wanted, and is very close to pearl gold. Specifically in the hard plastic shot, it looks perfect. Really excited by this. Always great to have a new colour, especially one that fills a gap that I didn't even really know we had. And I'm also kind of open and excited to the idea that the gold will be exclusive to the Decutree. I think that's nice. Not that I need exclusives like that, but I do think it's nice that will give that set a bit more special if they do continue to use this. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is the colour of Link's hair going forward, and I need to talk about it because it's important to me and therefore to you guys too. So first up, I have to start with the book nooks. They are the most interesting of the sort of new sub-themes that we're seeing this time in the summer round, and definitely, I think, sort of a focal point of interest. We have three to take a look at, that being the Harry Potter one, the Sherlock Holmes one, and then, of course, the Lord of the Rings one, which I'm so glad I waited for this video for, just so that I could talk about. But first, the Harry Potter one really shouldn't even be called a book nook to me. These are book ends. I know it has the ability to stick together, but if you do this, the train sticks out the front, and you also get the back of the train here, which makes no sense. These are lovely as book ends though, and I really like how the technique for the roofing was done. I think the train works perfectly fine, and this is a really serviceable product that makes a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of people talking about these book nooks as if they'd want them for other IPs, and while I know that the book nook trend itself does extend beyond written material, and in fact some of the ideas I have are definitely materials that are not in book form, I think it is probably most likely that we will continue to see these for literature only properties, meaning that I think this theme is probably one that is going to be short-lived and not seen elsewhere unless they pick up some new classic IPs. I think they've worked a lot with Jules Verne in the past. I could definitely see us heading for a Jules Verne one of these potentially in the future, maybe a Charles Dickens or something like that, but I do think that they're probably going to stick to books. Now, onto the ones that really interest me is the Sherlock Holmes one, and then the other one. You should have known that was coming if you've been around on my channel. But the Sherlock Holmes one is really delightful, having this Victorian street, and I love the really subtle angle of the buildings as they go in. This one definitely achieves the book nook itself brief the best. Not to say the other one is bad, we'll talk about it. But I love all the references and how much homage has been paid to this series while still keeping that sort of LEGO whimsy in the form of all these hidden compartments, even though it's completely unnecessary and doesn't really serve the medium that well at all. But it is just so delightful, and I love all the figures as well. It's very tempting, but as someone that isn't hugely attached to Sherlock, it will be something that I do end up skipping. However, it is truly delightful, and it deserves the roses as one of the standout sets of the summer. Now, the other one was one I've been watching for a very long time because this is sort of the accumulation of a couple of different points. One is book nooks. I'm very pleased to see book nooks in LEGO form. I think it's a great idea, and I'm very pleased to see a Lord of the Rings one. And then as far as scenes they've chosen, not only is it a scene that is delightful for a book nook and works really well, but it's a scene that we've been dying to see recreated, that being, of course, the Balrog, for a very long time since the initial wave. It's one of those original misses. So count me very excited to see what they can do with a Balrog and Khazad-dûm at the £100 price. And I'm not disappointed at all, to be honest. I'm really pleased with what I got. Now, it's definitely a pill to swallow. Like it's not bad. It's very similar to Barad-dûr for me, where I feel like my value is there. I'm going to be absolutely fine with it, but it definitely doesn't feel like the volume is there, which is certainly not true for Barad-dûr. Barad-dûr has just got a really low piece count, but There are just a couple of small things that feel off. Now, I think what actually saves this for me is how it looks in book nook form. I really love that it feels like a tunnel and that he's embedded in there. And I think it's sort of been overlooked as far as like visual angles go. And I'm really, really impressed with the turnout there. I think it's incredibly successful at feeling like a book nook. And then when open, it also looks great as kind of a stage. Now, admittedly, this is where it starts to lose you because I adore the Khazad-dûm architecture. I adore the gradienting. But when this is out on its own, it's like, why is this frame here? It makes sense so much for a bookshelf, but I really do see the argument to be made that this should have just been the Balrog on its own. Now, I'm fine with the composition, I'm fine with the setup, I'm fine with the wings and everything like that. I'm even fine with the removability, the way it's attached is really ingenious. As I mentioned, I love the pentagonal tiles and this dwarfish architecture and the colour gradient, that's all great. I'm fine with Gandalf and the quote tile. I have some reservations about the Balrog itself. Now, I've looked at some source images and I've decided that yes, the black is the accurate compromise to be had. And I'm happy with all the shaping and so on and how it looks. But personally, I would have liked some more fire, some more lavary pieces, some of those sort of textured rock panels on the arms, or even some stickers, just to add a bit more of a glow to it because it does feel very, very dark. And not that that's a bad thing. As I said, I've determined that this is, to me at least, accurate, and I'm happy with that. However, I definitely think some more colour would have been my personal choice, and something that I will probably look at adding either to the back to increase its mane, or maybe to the front of the chest, sacrificing detail for some lava rocks. We'll see. I think I need it in hand to sort of really know. I'm happy with it. I'm more than happy to buy it. I will be buying it day one, despite some quibbles, perhaps more quibbles than usual for a Lord of the Rings set. And actually, while we're talking Lord of the Rings, let's bring up the Shire. I didn't end up talking about it because it was a spring release set, and I didn't feel the need to talk about it because it's conflicting to me, because I often talk about Master Builder Series sets and big scale play sets like we see with Star Wars, and how much I want to champion these because I think they're a really delightful large end of the project spectrum, because they are large play sets and they're complete environments. And the Shire does a really incredible job at being more than a standalone model and being this full scene with these side builds and being everything I usually ask for, but it just doesn't quite execute it. I mean, it doesn't execute it badly. It doesn't execute it in a way that makes me want to buy it, because while the increases between the old Shire and the new Shire are insane, the old Shire still services me perfectly fine. And I think the price on this one is what really hurt it. It's a gorgeous model. Like, I cannot understate that it is a worthy upgrade to the original. However, for me, in my personal circumstances, it's just not enough, even though, and I'm gutted that I won't be supporting a model that fits all these themes and ideas that I love to champion in LEGO, being these large-scale playsets and so on. So it's kind of a sort of a double whammy where I'm almost disappointed that I'm not more interested, even though it's been made what feels a million mind. But I think what sold me, and I was on the fence for a while because that exterior is really stunning, and I do love the party scene and I love the figures. It's the interior. It's just incredibly disappointing. It's very, very thin. There's not much going on. What is there is charming with the letter feature and so on, but it is just not the interior I wanted. And at this price, I don't know how possible it would have been, but I definitely would have preferred a collection of hobbit holes, 2, 3, 4 even. I don't think 4 would be unreasonable. If they'd given us 2 in the party tree and the cart, I think I would have accepted that, but I would have rather 2 smaller hobbit holes with more fleshed out interiors than this one, although this one is the most iconic, and there's arguments to be made both ways. So I think this is as successful as a cheaper Lord of the Rings outing, but it's nowhere near cheap enough, and I certainly feel that it is the one that lacks the most value out of the 3, even though it ticks so many boxes, which I would kill to see regularly, but disappointing, but not too bad. And let's move away from Lord of the Rings now. It is one of those themes that I want to talk about a lot, and I probably will continue to talk about as I plan to do a full set ranking at some point in the future. But let's keep things moving a little bit more of a pace. With the Trevi Fountain up next, this was a February set that I just happened to miss and not really talk about. Again, here, the wet to dry gradients is beautiful. It's such an upscale from the original. I love the use of colour and depth on the actual building and facade. It just looks so delightful every stage, and the rocks really, really sell it to me, and of course all the water in the fountain. So very, very impressed with this. If I'd been to a Trevi Fountain, I would be buying this for sure. I just haven't made it to Rome. So in the future, I'm sure I will own this one once I have been to that location. The Cullen House is also on here because it's incredibly underrated. Of course, this is not really designed for your traditional Lego fans. However, there is still a lot to love here. Of course, some incredibly desirable minifigures. Minifigures that are still holding their price on Bricklink very, very well. And a house that looks great. I also love the truck. And I think Jacob the Wolf is about as good as you can get. My favorite is the tree for the Spider Monkey scene. And although I'm not looking at getting the set because as much as I enjoyed memeing on the movies and watching them with friends, it became quite a core memory. I don't really need that giant house, so I was looking to get some of the figures, sort of the main three, and then maybe a tree, so that I can sort of have them around in a woodland scene, because I do have a strong attachment to the movies. But the set is well done. It's great for what it is, and I hope that it was popular with the people it was designed for, and that the people that it isn't designed for managed to find some joy in it too, or stop thinking about it. Now let's go on to the most. I know I love the barrel Rook, but I feel like my most anticipated set for the summer had to be the prize machine. And no, it's not because of the coloured spacemen, although I'm very excited to be adding them to my spaceman display. I will be doing a compost about that once I get it all together. I've already ordered the parts for the expansion. I'm very, very excited. Teal was the colour I voted for. Teal was the colour I encouraged you guys to vote for too, so very pleased to have won that. And then gold was my second choice, and we also got that. While we're talking about figures, Kraken Knights were also my choice, so very excited about those. Griffin Knights or whatever, but those Kraken Knights are gorgeous looking. I'm very excited to wear those, and I'm very excited for their parts to come to Bricks and Pieces, because I would very much like to have a army of these pseudo pirate knights. They're very cool. Again, a little bit of teal, but also just their sigil and everything about their design language speaks to me, giving us this like, it's the Greyjoys, right? It's like boat knights. It's so cool. Anyway, figures aside, we didn't even talk about Paradisa and Fabuland as well. It's lovely. Prize machine is something I've always wanted. I've been making like candy dispensers and so on out of Lego since there were like tutorials online for a very, very long time. So I've been in this space before. I made the Lego Maniac Master Sword puzzle box in the past as well. So this kind of thing, this kind of working contraption, and then to see it hold minifigures, having something that could dispense or like give you a random selection of minifigure parts is something that I've dreamed of for many years. I tried to make it work like a figure part dispenser, so that you would, say, put a coin in and you'd get a random selection of minifigure parts. I've wanted something like that for ages, and this machine is effectively that. Price is all right. I'm very curious to see the mechanism. I'm very excited for the figures. I'm very excited for the build. I'm very excited to own this and fulfill that niche, even though I probably won't ever use this to fulfill those dreams. However, it will still be very cool to have and put a selection of figures in it as well. So I'm very much looking forward to the prize machine. It was something I was anticipating highly. Wasn't expecting it's June 1st. I thought it was going to be later this year, but very excited to be picking up at midnight on June 1st alongside the Balrog Book Nook and redeeming my Mario Spiny Shell, which is another one to talk about as well. This is perfect, right? This blue shell is perfect. What a great item, and what a great thing that should have been a promo with the Mario Kart set, although I'm very glad that I was able to get this without buying the Mario Kart set, because I do want that Mario Kart set, just not day one. But yeah, I'm loving the blue shell, very excited to pick that up, also on June 1st. If we're talking blue shell though, let's talk about the big Mario Kart. This is another set that's just done right. I didn't know how long it would be before we got this style of Mario after Mighty Bowser. I'm glad he's here. I'm sure it won't be too long before someone rebrickable makes him stand up, but he just looks perfect. What an amazing job this team are doing with the sculpting on this. Now, at the beginning of the year, I predicted Mario Kart, the standard kart, would be the D2C, but I never predicted it would have a driver. I expected it to be an empty standard kart like the Creator Expert vehicles, and from what I can see from the model, it is up to the Creator Expert standard as well. And then it comes with that Mario, and then it comes with this great stand as well. I really do feel the only thing missing here is Rainbow Road, because originally my pitch was the standard kart and its display stand is a selection of rainbow coloured tiles that it is sort of snot built onto, and that didn't happen. That's fine, but I would still like Rainbow Road to appear in a Mario Playscale set or in some form, maybe as a diorama or another 18 plus set, or even just like a 12 plus set that's more display orientated, because I do think it's super iconic and I do think people would want it on their desk. However, this set is perfect. As far as a standard kart set, which was something I was on board with, something I wanted and talked about in my Nintendo video for January, very, very excited to have this. It's about as perfect as I could want, and it even came with the Mario, which was a great extra surprise, plus a blue shell. Really pleased to finally have blue shell. Just need it in the Playscale sets now as well. Let's jump to botanicals now. I'm still thinking about the prize machine. Oh, I just love it. It's great. I'm very, very excited about this, that one. Botanicals then. Happy Plants. This is so cute. This is just perfect. I have no real notes. It's just adorable. It's sweet. It's going to sell units. And I hope that we continue to see ones in different shapes. And this is a collection. Maybe just one more, maybe like an orange one, like that new medium orangey color. And I don't know, like a sand green one or something. Although that would clash with plants. But like just two more, like a tall plant maybe. And then like a rounded one or something. Yeah, two more like shapes. That would be really, really cute. The plants, whatever. I'm glad you can shop them. They've got these little ideas of roots, and I'm glad that it's like kid friendly. It's really nice. I'll be picking this up probably when it goes on 20% sale. Not because I hate it, not because I think it needs a discount, just because there's no need for me to pay full price for it. One I'm more on the edge with though is the maple tree. I love the way it looks. I think it's incredible. I love the shaping. I love the hill that it's on. I just don't know what I'd do with it. It's not like when you buy, say, the Petite Sunny bouquet, which is something we're not going to talk about today because I already own it. When you buy that, you can just mix and match into your existing bouquets and so on. It's really, really easy to integrate. Or with the Gentleman collection, where they were sort of standalone and felt very much more desk shape. I guess this is desk shape too, but it just feels weirdly intrusive. I don't really have a better word for it. I love the leaf colors. I love the way it's laid out. I love the bark is this tan color, and it's fantastic. Maybe there's something to be done here with it, but who knows? I truly do love it. It's incredible, but I just don't know if it will ever make its way into my collection. I didn't want to mention this one for too long, but we've got the shuttle carrier up here as well. Now, I really love the Concorde. Like, I love the Concorde set. I think that one's incredible, and I'm really pleased to see that the plane line is continuing for the plane fans. It makes a lot of sense to me. Not thrilled that it's the NASA tie-in again, because it's just so much, and I wasn't a huge fan of the launch pad last year, because it very felt like the launch pad with Tiny Rocket, and most of the build was the launch pad, and it didn't feel that great to me. It didn't quite connect. However, this one I'm pretty impressed with the Boeing, like the base aircraft that it's sat on. I think it looks really, really great. I'm sort of sick of getting the Discovery. I think the big Discovery is the best one, and I'm just happy with that. But I love the Boeing's great here. It's great. To me, the Concorde is just more enigmatic, so it will always take the top spot, along with just being more interesting. But the build here is on par. It's great. Pleased to see another plane set. Probably going to be the last one, I imagine, for a while. Maybe I'll be wrong. Who knows? But yeah, I wanted to give it some credit because it's doing something that I want to support, even though it is of very little interest to me. I'd rather get the Concorde, but yeah, it's still here and still important. Next up, we have one Minecraft set. We have the Creeper here, the buildable Creeper. This is just perfect, right? Like, do I need to explain why this is perfect? It's the mascot. This is going to sell hotcakes because everyone that doesn't care about the sets or the play scale, or just has an affinity with the game but doesn't really feel that Lego Minecraft works, because it's like this, why be creative in them together when you could be creative in them separately? It's kind of a moot point, but just to have this really iconic mob, and then to have the TNT in the head as well as the prototype pig, and for it to be this large detailed model. Now, I cannot tell you how many times I've considered buying the Big Fig Creeper for this exact reason, just to have this iconic landmark that has been a part of so many people's lives just here on display. And then they've just done this perfect one. And I'm so glad I held off buying, say, like Baby Pig's Birthday or the standalone one, because this just fulfills the need. It's wonderful. It's an incredible set. It's really, really well executed, and it's cheap as well. So I'll be looking forward to picking this one up very early on in its life, maybe a couple of months after. 20% doesn't hurt, but I'm very impressed. It's almost perfect, like in the way it's been executed, and I think it needs more attention because it's wonderful. Similarly speaking is the Unicorn Castle. This is just so much whimsy. I love it. 3-in-1 didn't hit as hard for me this year. A lot of the brick creatures just weren't of interest to me. However, this has caught my attention. It's so bright, it's so colourful. You get this wonderful animal mold with the wings as well. Yeah, I've got no notes. This is great. I don't love the B build and the C build as much. It feels very standard for 3-in-1, but this is so colourful. I will almost certainly pick this up once it goes on sale, because it's just so whimsy, and I'm sure I can use the parts. So very excited by this. This is just pure play. Very, very in love with this one as well. The sunflowers, I'm also going to give some credit to. People were raving on this one. Personally, I prefer the Mona Lisa of the two of this 3D art style. But yes, this is the same 3D art style that we've been using on the Champions art and other things. Here it is executed incredibly. They've snuck in some Easter eggs and so on as well, and the remastered cool yellow color. And yeah, there's no notes. It's pretty incredible. However, at the end of the day, I do prefer the Mona Lisa, and I think I don't really like this as a picture anyway, so it is what it is. But again, I'm going to give it the credit it deserves. One that I'm more impressed by is the Keith Haring art sculptures, just because they are so rounded, and Lego did such a good job. I'm always a fan when shaping goes to another level. And we've talked about this before on the channel whenever a set comes out that just defies all odds and is round and is curved and has these incredible shapes to it that you just wouldn't believe is possible in the brick built medium. And here is another one where it's just stunning to me how well these were created. And then with all these display options and being this truly iconic artist, it is wonderful. I'm very, very impressed with this, and I think it deserves a whole lot more praise than it's been getting, although I won't be buying it myself. One that I would love to get one day if I made the trip, and I would not buy this from someone in this country. I would only ever buy it if I went on the pilgrimage now that the moulding machine is retired. That is the Fabuland tribute set. Yeah, Fabuland. God, I love some Fabuland, right? It's just quintessentially 70s Lego. I love it so much. I actually have some of the original stuff, which I inherited through the family, and it's just delightful. So seeing a tribute here is great. I'm not going to gush on it too long because there's not much to say, and it's not my favorite theme of all time. But I'm very happy, and it feels special that this exists. It's a little creepy looking in places. Bit of a weird choice, but I love that they're paying homage to it, and I love the set, so it's incredible. GWPs then, a couple now that I think both of which will have ended by the time this video goes out, with the Space Baby. Yeah, okay, everyone's talked about Space Baby. I'm mixed on this. I'm interested. I think the prices that they're going for at the moment are gouged, obviously. I would have been more interested if this came with a red Space Baby. We need more of the Space Babies in the colours. I know we're getting so many new colours this year, by the way, because we're getting the dark blue helmet, we're getting obviously the teal and the gold in the Space Machine, and then I just find out that light blue is coming to Pick-a-Brick, of all things. Crazy. I can't believe we're getting basically, well, 3.5 colours, because light blue won't be finished until probably next year, but like the Spacemen lineup is going to round out fairly fast. Like we're getting down to colours where it's going to be like vibrant yellow and dark green soon, I imagine. Oh, dark green would be good, actually. Oh, dark green would be good. And like we have made it through the rainbow, and we're almost going to a point where I think it's too fast. I'd kind of like them to slow down a little bit again now. But like the Space Babies, like we're very much due a new Space Baby colour, I think. So I would like to see red with that. But yeah, the GWP is great. It's great for the people that collect it. I don't feel it's necessary. Like it didn't sway me over the edge. I'm much happier with just my minifigure Spaceman collection. Like I like the guys and the babies. That is where I draw the line, and I'd rather save my money for elsewhere. Although I am a classic toys enjoyer, Blacktron specifically as well. So I enjoy a lot of what's going on here, and the Space Baby is no different. My favourite GWP though for this year, maybe apart from the blue shell, because that's the only one I've actually like bought into, is the Children's Day teddy bear. This is really cute. Look how well this is sculpted. This is like a creator model here. I love how it looks. It's fantastic with the little curved arms and the dots here. By far the best teddy bear they've ever done, and best they probably ever will do. If I find this for a decent price at a convention, I'll pick this up. I'd pay 10, maybe 15. 15 I think I'd pay for this, because teddy bears are adorable, and this is really, really cute. So impressive gift with purchase. Over to Friends and City then. One Friend set standing out, not as many as usual. I could probably go into depth into more of them. I do love that we're still continuing the Not Zelda reference in the little movie, outdoor movie scene here. But my favourite one has to go to the Plant Cafe and Flower Shop. This just feels like a perfect addendum to the Botanical Gardens, either version, the Lego one, the Lego Ideas one, or the Lego Friends one. I love the little arch here with the stained glass windows. It feels very British, it feels very market. Don't really like the tram. Or that side building, but like this central building is just gorgeous. This is one I could see myself picking up. I really do, because the architecture is just so wonderful, and I love it when they do stuff like this. And this is one that is, it feels very arcadey, so it feels very associatable to like low British modulars. So I might be tempted to do some mods with this one. I think once I see it built and see some people review it, I'm very, very interested in the Plant Cafe here. I just don't want to pay money for the trolley because I just don't like that side build, but parts are parts, so maybe it's one I will consider. On the City side of things, we've got 2 or 3. We've got the custom police garage. This one's on here just out of respect. People have been like disowning this set, but it's wonderful as a play concept. I was a huge fan of the transforming fire truck, police truck, ambulance combo thing. The only thing I didn't like about the set was the lack of interiors for the cast, but how clean they looked, how like sort of cheapified and rounded they were, and then how they all connected together in different ways was delightful to me, and I really, really enjoyed that. Not that I bought it yet, but it was cool. And seeing this custom police garage just embrace the whimsy and have these 4 different options is wonderful, and I think this will make a fantastic set. Now, as for potentially my second favourite set of the summer, although I won't be buying it straight away, I will wait for a sale, and another thing that's going to make a fantastic set is the Explorer train. Oh, I very much like the Explorer train. This is very cool, and this is regardless of Johnny Thunder bias, although it is very cool to see his or an Expedition Arctic outfit out here. I love the train. The way that train looks is just, oh, I know it doesn't look like the Snowpiercer train, but oh, snow train. Gotta love a snow train. I kind of wish there was one more carriage. 3 feels a little short to me. I love the observation one. That looks great. I love the low flatbed because it's absolutely necessary. I don't know what they would have done for a 4th one. Maybe a lab. Part of me almost wishes that there was like a passenger section because the I know that like the open top car technically has a lab, but like a dining car would have been like a lot of fun. Maybe like a storage car, like an enclosed storage one for like samples or animals or plants or something, or I don't even know, like ice cores or something. Even if it was a second flatbed, I would have taken it. But 4 cars, it feels like the standard. I know a lot of people have said they've wasted parts of the rock face, but I don't feel that way because it adds to this mountainous terrain, and without that, you just don't get this sense of the feel. And then obviously the avalanche feature and the zip line and getting these 2 brand new bits of track. I realise their uses are not as exciting as maybe they could have been. Like we've got the railer one here, and then the other one is the one that has the action feature. But it's great to have a piece of track with an action feature built in. You've got the little snow dugout here, and then there's not a huge amount to interact with, which I feel like is the set's one downside. But the lines are so clean on the train. The train's aesthetic is just so tight. And then the little research outpost base with the chain fence grills as like the raised up snow platforms. Oh, it's perfect. What an amazing playset. I mean, this will go great with the Winter Village stuff as well, especially with that rock face. I love it. I love it. It's everything I'm loving about the new city vehicle design, mixed with something a little bit unconventional, and then something that I think is cool, which is like a winter exploration train, and then tying into a little bit of that Snowpiercer energy as well. I love it. I cannot gush about this train enough. I will go on and on and on. So I'm gonna shut up. I will get this train 100%, probably next year. But I'm not letting this train retire. I think it's absolutely fantastic. A couple of dreams ones. I just want to mention, of course, the dark blue space helmet over in the paint truck. Paint truck looks cool, but yeah, okay, I'm waiting for bricks and pieces for the helmet and air tanks. The other stuff I actually do think is cool, Fire Chameleon. This is a Monkey Kid color scheme, effectively, but I do love the teal with the red and then the bright yellowish orange. I also think the shaping of the chameleon is interesting. I prefer the C-Rex from last year, but this is still cool. And I'm always going to give Dreams credit when it does something cool, because that Nightmare Shark ship is still incredible, and I'm very glad to own it. From Ninjago, we have one of the March sets. This is Thunderfang. This is the best Ninjago set in years. Like, evil dragon that's bipedal. It's so cool. Like, the only reason I don't own this already is because, one, the price is a little high, so I want it to be a little cheaper. And obviously, this is a big year for dragons. I just came off buying the Auspicious Dragon, so I'm still kind of very much high on dragons. And then, obviously, we had the medieval one, which I still kind of want. I don't know if I'll actually end up getting, but kind of want it. And then I have this to compete with that, and then also Toothless. So there's like a lot of dragons coming out that I'm interested in. So I'm kind of like waiting to see which ones disappoint me, and then I'll go from there. But this looks incredible. Like Thunderfang as a creature design, the Forbidden Five as a creature design are all working so well for me and itching that fantasy spot of my brain, like Ninjago doesn't usually able to do with me. But Thunderfang looks so cool. I would very much like to own this one day because the color scheme, the lore, the bipedalism, the chains, it's great. The kind of lore you live for. It's fantastic. Let's jump over to Mario quickly then. So obviously very, very pleased with the first half of the Mario Kart sets. This time, a little weaker. I know a lot of people are excited about Wario King Boo. Nothing in that set for me, as I'm not a huge Wario fan and the karts are whatever. The one I'm most interested in is the Bowser Castle. Once I found out that this set was like 100 or like £90 or something, it's just way too expensive for elements I don't need. The cards aren't exciting choices to me. Bowser and Yoshi I both already have, so I don't really care that there's another Bowser. The part I really like is the central gate, as I think it really fits the Bowser Castle aesthetic. I think it's going to go really well with the dry Bowser and the normal Bowser from 2020. I love the lava bar. I love the features and the interaction here for, I guess, recreating like balloon battle, but without any balloons. I think it's great. I would have bought this set if the cart and figure choices are different. I'm really jealous of the fact that this and the starter course are the only ones with the thwomps, because the thwomps look amazing. So I may be tempted to try and like buy just the build portion of this set off eBay, because that's something that Mario sellers do sometimes, and that's all I really want is the sort of the central element. I don't even really care about the sidewalls. I just kind of want the main gate. I think it would be a bit of a pain to part together, but it is here, and I just really like that thwomp, and I think it fits so well with the Bowser Castle aesthetic and with the Mario Kart Bowser aesthetic as well. It's a really great set. It's just a little unfortunate with the choices that they made. Also in this set, red banners are perfect for Hyrule Castle, so I will definitely be buying the banners at some point because I think they'll be incredibly useful parts. Captain Toad's Camp, though, I would definitely buy. I'll wait for it to go on sale just to make it a little cheaper, as I think the terrain build is going to be kind of something or nothing. But Captain Toad is great to finally have. This will be my first time getting a turnip because I didn't buy that Peach set, so that's another great one for me. And I know a lot of other people are excited about, say, like the Wonder set, or as I mentioned, Boo and Wario, because it's got good figures, and then also even the Toad House. But because I have all the Toad variants, and I think I'd just rather pick up a sort of a cheap and disheveled copy of Toad's Treasure Hunt from 2020, because although I think that set is kind of the play feature is unique and it comes with Toadette, who I actually need, whereas I don't need the variants, and you get 3 houses. So while I'm really glad that this house actually has a full interior and actually functions as a play model, it doesn't really suit my needs. So it's another case like we talked about earlier where I think the set is absolutely great, but just doesn't suit what I need from it. So Mario Lave is doing strong. Mario's in a really great place right now, continues to be in a great place. I've got personal goals for the Mario Kart line that I'm hoping to see aspired to in the next wave. Cheap Charger, obviously, some more racers, Maple Treeway, and also Rainbow Road. I think it's the most important one. But yeah, just keep giving it more to me. We need more karts, we need more racers, okay? I don't even care if they're new, just give us more of the roster. Now the World's coming out as well, just more Mario Kart in January. I'm very excited. The Wonder set is also incredibly cool. I just haven't played the game, so not of huge interest to me, but yeah, Mario firing on all cylinders. I'm very excited to see what the theme cooks up next. I'm so pleased that they've stuck with the character building system and not jumped over 2 figures. I think there's so much potential here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with next. If you'd asked me that a year ago, I would have been excited for Mario Kart, but I wouldn't have known what to expect because I was not a huge fan. Excluding Bowser Train and the D2C stuff, I've not really been gelling with the direction the course builder system took since Donkey Kong, because it kind of abandoned what made the course builder system great and the play features were getting a little wonky. There's still lots to love about the theme. I still have full faith in it, and I still preferred it over anything the minifigures could have given, but I think it was losing its way, and they're back. They're doing an incredible job right now, so very excited to see what's next. Over into Star Wars, we've actually got a surprising number here. The logo deserves credit because people are giving it flack because it's a logo. It's great. It's so well sculpted. What a beautiful build that's going to be. It's going to be amazing techniques. Little Easter eggs, fine, whatever. They probably could have done more with it. Figures would have been nice, I guess. But yes, it's a centerpiece to a collection. It's truly wonderful. I think it's an incredible set. Not what I need, but incredible, truly. The AT-AT driver helmet. Love this. I missed out on the TIE Fighter helmet, which I regret because I think it's cool. And apart from this one not having tubes, this is everything I've wanted. Hoth is my favorite scene. I love AT-ATs. I love everything about it. So to get this helmet here, it's very cool. I'm very excited to make this my first Star Wars helmet pickup, and I will do so later this year probably. And then lastly, K2SO. This is a great one because I never thought we'd actually get it. I really didn't ever think we would get a buildable K2 because I love the droid, right? I missed out on the brick build version, the figure version from 2016 because priorities at the time. And obviously this set comes with one, which is very exciting as well. Very much looking forward to having my own K2 at last. But beyond that, I just think I never dreamed we would be in a place where this droid would be getting a buildable droid, because back at the time when I was thinking about this, which was when Project K came out, I forget his name, the guy that does these incredible mocks. Anyway, he did this really large version of the security droid, and I just thought, oh my God, it would be incredible, it would be beautiful to own that. But never thought the droid would be considered popular enough to get a remake, and then obviously we've been going through and we can destroy a droid, which I also really loved, the Droideka, and then to get K2 here is just fantastic. He's my C-3PO. I'm very excited to ride him. Rogue One is my favorite movie. I just from Star Wars, and I want to make some. I'm sure someone will fix the head. It's a problem. I agree. I will get this on 20% off, maybe. I might buy the old version's head and see if the buildable head works. I'm sure someone will fix it, and I will be even happier with it once it is. But I'm already very impressed, and I'm very excited just for the opportunity to be able to have a retail version of buildable K, and then to have the figure version included here is everything I could have wanted, and I'm so glad that Andor gave us this specifically, although Andor is also fantastic. From Marvel, we have Galactus. he's just cool, okay? Like, I like the Arisham set because I liked Eternals alright, but like, as a movie, but like, the Arisham was just cool. He's just got a cool design. And the same is true for Galactus. And of course, I remember my Marvel superhero days from the game. I don't like the price on this. I will hold judgment until I see the movie. I'm excited for the movie, so if I like the movie, I will probably buy this. It will depend on that. But this is one of those ones that fits this figure. Of course, I would have liked a giant minifigure, but this works. This works. I'm excited. I hope they do a Sentinel like this on its own one day. Even if they just ported the one from the mansion, I don't think anyone would care, like they did with the Leviathan like they did with the Leviathan from Avengers Tower, and then they ported it into its own set. Galactus is looking great. He looks fantastic. I'm very interested. I'm very, very tempted, but not until I see the movie, I think. I also want to draw attention to the Age of Ultron Quinjet. It's obviously not the most exciting Quinjet because the other Quinjet is more iconic. However, it's the Ultron figure. Oh, I loved the January comic book Ultron. I really, really did. And I just never expected that we would get this version of Ultimate Ultron from the movie, and it looked this good. Like, the lining is perfect. Like, they nailed him. Like, the 2015 ones never gelled with me, like, particularly. I like the Sentries and the Mark I version of him, but they never got him. They get him here. This is a Class A figure that will not be beat. I need this figure. Like, regardless, I wouldn't buy the set for him, but if the set turns out to be better than I'm expecting, you never know, because that figure is incredible, and I need to have him because he is one of my favorite movie villains. I just love him. I'm really, really happy with the comic version, and I'm very happy to add a second version to my collection too. Animal Crossing then is going to round us out. Two here I want to talk about. Blood's Museum being the first one. I really wanted to love this one. I love the interior. I love Blathers, and I like all the side builds on the exterior. But I can't get behind the facade. It's just too simplified. It really is. And it's so unfortunate because I was able to give it a pass for stuff like the cranny and like the houses, and I really, really like that style. And I really love all the spaces we've got on the interiors as well. But the facade, it's ruining it for me. And for the price of the set, I'm just not able to justify it. 50% sale? Yeah, I think that's my line. 50% sale, and I'd consider it. But as for where it stands right now, it's unfortunately a pass for me, which I'm kind of gutted about. But it is what it is, and I will not be buying Blathers Museum anytime soon. But very excited to finally have Blathers in the setup. Very pleased that this is here. I really love the interior as well, but just not enough to justify it over all these other wonderful sets, and of course mock building as well. And then the last set to talk about was Goldie's Cozy House. I was thinking this was a perfect set until I got to the price, and the price is 20. It's great to have this different house variant. It's great to have this smaller house. This I feel is a really iconic house. It's great to have the snail and the pear in this cheaper set. It has a little interior, and it's whatever. But why is this not $12.99? Why is this 20? What is going on here? I will buy this set at 40% off. Like, it needs to go down to 12. I refuse. I'm not backing away from the Animal Crossing theme. I've got the cranny and then the Bunnies Outdoors set, as well as the 2 poly bags. But instead of choosing to buy the Isabel house visit, I just chose to Bricklink Isabel. So I spent £5 instead of $25 once you find discounted prices. And I think I'm happy with that. I think bar maybe a very cheap pickup of the museum and Goldie's house, I'm sort of okay for houses. I am considering like the Able Sisters, and I'm about to pick up Celeste. So like I'm not done with the theme, but I'm definitely looking at it and going, well, okay, it's not my favorite gaming franchise ever. I really love the sets and I love how it's turning out, but I don't really need to get into this in the same way I say did for Mario, even though also I enjoy a Mario game, I enjoy all the spin-offs, but I didn't need to get into it in the way that I have. So just in the nature of sort of scaling back, I want to be more careful with my Animal Crossing purchases. That being said, Goldie's house won't happen, Celeste is still happening, and that museum will be a hard no to say, but I've got to draw the fingers in my line somewhere, and it is the figures I mostly care about, unfortunately. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're going to leave it there for today. It was significantly shorter than the last time we did one of these, but it did still ramble on, which I'm pleased because I like talking about this stuff. It's close to that podcast idea that we talked about, which I feel like I should try and capitalize on maybe some point over the summer, use a little bit of extra time to just sit down once a week and ramble at you guys about a topic, maybe even without pictures on the screen. We'll see how this has been edited together. But let me know what sets you're looking forward to. Obviously, I know a lot of you guys have space and money problems. I do too. I've been selling sets for the first time in a while. This year, and obviously most of these I'm drawing attention to because I think they're cool rather than stuff I'll actually end up buying. The prize machine and the Balrog are my big two, and eventually I'll pick up stuff like the Mario Kart one and the Explorer train and so on as we go through. But yeah, I think it's important to note that scaling back is important, and there's definitely still some important sets coming out later this year that I'm keeping an eye on. But we won't do one of these until January unless something really important happens. But of course, we have a Zelda set to look forward to in 2026 as well. So important to keep that on the horizon as well. Hope you found the interesting in the new color and everything else, and leave your comments down below and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.